One Punch Man new Season 3 Episode 3 scenes have been revealed. Before we talk about those new scenes, the director of One Punch Man, Shinpai Nagai, deleting his X account caused such an uproar on social media that even Culture Crave, that mainly talks about Hollywood movies and TV shows, also talked about this. That just goes to show you how insanely popular and even mainstream this IP is. Not only Season 3 Episode 2 has a low 6.3 out of 10 on IMDB, but Episode 1 of Season 3 has dropped from a 6.1 to a 5.9. Both episodes in Season 3 have yet to surpass the recap episode. You have to understand how crazy this is. The fact that a recap episode has a higher rating score than the 2 new episodes in the new season.
That's outrageous.
It just goes to show you that the fans of One Punch Man Season 3 hated this episode so much that they actually preferred seeing the scenes from the previous season over the new episode. With negative comments on IMDb like this: 1 out of 10 PNG man. After all these years waiting for the new season, you would think One Punch Man would come back swinging epic animation, brutal fights, but nope. What we got instead was basically a PowerPoint presentation with anime sound effects. That scene where Garou goes down the hill, legendary, but not because it's good. It literally looks like someone dragged a PNG of Garou across the screen, no exaggeration. Garou descended like a floating image in Photoshop. Even memes move smoother. The animation overall feels lazy, with too many still shots and not enough energy. The dialogue is fine, but the pacing drags. It all feels like it's building up to something epic that never actually happens. The frustrating part is knowing the story could be amazing, it just doesn't get the treatment it deserves. Garou is still a fantastic character, full of presence and menace, but here he's stuck inside an animation that doesn't let him shine. The potential is there, the effort, not so much. 1 out of 10 Garou sliding over the budget. The Garou sliding animation really did it for me. The beginning 20 seconds were just still shots. I can no longer defend this abhorrent mess of a quote-unquote anime, if you can even call it that. The pacing, the still shots, the in-betweens, everything feels so rushed, forced, and leaves a real bad taste in your mouth given how long fans waited for this. 6 years for a slideshow of this quality, damn! While this episode is a little higher than episode 1, it is still a far cry from the other main popular superhero-esque anime series, My Hero Academia, getting huge ratings on their platform. I just think it's so interesting seeing 2 big shonen IPs based on the superhero genre that have wildly different fan reactions. But could all of that change with One Punch Man Season 3 Episode 3? Because we have some brand new scenes released by the official One Punch Man account. First up, we got the return of the one and only Dr. Genus. The last time we saw this dude was way back in Season 1, I do believe. And I must admit that this dude looks pretty well drawn. I really don't see that much of a difference in my opinion. The artist's well and truly cooked with his design. Next up we have Garou, and it looks like he is fighting both Royal Ripper and the Bug God. This X account at One Punch Daily has made this comparison, comparing the initial PV to this new preview scene. And looking at this, it does look like they have reduced some of the blur. It made it look a little bit more cinematic in my opinion. But at the same time, I do appreciate that we can now clearly see the outlines on the character. Maybe if they had reduced the blurring on his face, but kept some of the blur for the background, it would have been ideal. Regardless, it's still a well-drawn shot. We do have Royal Ripper and the Bug God, and dude, Royal Ripper is looking pretty scary in this shot. Bro looks like he is ready for the action. And speaking of the action, it does look like we are going to finally get that entire Garou versus Royal Ripper and Bug God fight sequence that we saw in the special announcement way back in February 2024. That entire PV trailer looked absolutely phenomenal in my opinion, and it does look like we are going to get this fight sequence in that episode, which will be coming out on Sunday. Next up, we have this really nicely drawn shot of Saitama, and the dude looks serious. When his face looks like that, you know that things are about to go down. And with the red background behind him, ooh, I wonder why he's feeling blue. No pun intended. Look at the bold outlines, dude. Look at the highlights. The rim lighting and colors are all popping off so much. It looks so good in my opinion. Next up we have Janus and the other S-class rank heroes looking in absolute shock over something or someone. And who could it be? Well, it is the one and only Dr. Kuseno. Judging on the background on the two scenes and the color palette, it does look like Dr. Kuseno is paying a visit. And with his ties to Janus, I mean, who else would he see? And those are the 6 new preview images of Season 3, Episode 3. Now we have the synopsis. I do think the synopsis somewhat spoils what is going to happen in the new episode, so in case you don't want to read the synopsis, just skip ahead. This is the synopsis. Garu goes on the offense against Kirasaki King and the Bug God, but a slug jellyfish suddenly appears and takes Taro hostage. Meanwhile, Professor Kuseno receives a distress call from Janus and visits Saitama. I really do think the first half of this synopsis really spoils what is going to happen, because it shows us that the fight could potentially come to an abrupt end, and it does look like Garu will chase down the slug jellyfish and try to save Taro. I am an anime only and I do not know the future of this series, but reading this synopsis, it does look like that entire Season 3 Episode 3 won't be entirely on the Royal Ripper, Bug God and Garu fight scene. And it does look like the second half will be about Janus, Saitama and Professor Kuseno, as well as Genus. While I am quite excited for the next episode, I can't help but feel very worried. That special announcement video PV trailer that was released back in February 2024, showing Garu versus Royal Ripper and the Bug God, they showed a good healthy amount of action in that trailer. I can't help but feel like, is that all the fighting we are going to see in Season 3 Episode 3, just without the blur effect? Because while it is cool to finally see a fight sequence in One Punch Man Season 3, it will be an entire animation sequence that we have already seen in the form of this special announcement video. Let's hope there are more cuts to this fight sequence that have yet to be seen on the World Wide Web. Will JC staff cook with One Punch Man Season 3 Episode 3, or will the dish be absolutely atrocious? Who knows, we just got to wait and see. Tell me in the comments down below, what do you guys think of all of this? Tell me, like this video, subscribe for more One Punch Man videos, as well as other anime news updates, reviews, comparisons, breakdowns, rankings and more. Thank you for watching. The Second Boy Dude signing out.